The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It's a football Friday, and we are still reacting to the latest on the New York Jets following yet another article in The Athletic that paints Woody Johnson as a madman. We'll talk to Fireman Ed about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
But I'm just saying here, setting the record straight, this show is about positivity and having a good time and yucking it up. I love this show. I do this shit for free.
Yeah.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jet bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We got a lot to talk about, and joining us right now in his weekly spot on the show is our guy, Fireman Ed. Ed, happy Friday. Another day, another piece in The Athletic, and we certainly got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Well, they talk about a lot of things in that Athletic. It's not always football. That's a hatchet job. Listen, there's a lot in that article. I mean, a lot in that article. You seen what I had to say on Instagram, Fireman Ed 42. Just a small sample of what, there's just a lot to it, First off, Jake, let me just start by saying, when you're going to go after the owner, that's fine. You want to go after the owner. That's open game. But when you talk about his family, I'm out on that. Family there should be a line in the sand. Should never do that. All right. First off, those kids are 18 and 16 years old. Okay. So what do they really know? I mean, their father's the owner of the team. I get it. But you could avoid, there's certain stories you could just avoid it, and you could still get your point across that you want to say Woody's out of control. You don't need to be going with the kids. And, those kids, they're just growing up. They don't need that pressure of that article. I mean, it's just, I don't go for that. That I don't go for.
Well, especially when one of the writers has written in a Discord before that, Brick Johnson is like some Nepo baby. And it's just like you got to be buttoned up with your commentary if you're going to go after people's kids in the story. I agree with you.
Man. There's no question about it. That kid, kid's a young kid, and, what's it, Brick and Jack, right? I mean, it's not their fault. It's just not, it's just
they're not the reason why Joe Douglas went 30-64 over nearly 6 seasons as a general manager.
Yeah, that's one has nothing to do with the other. So I don't agree you bring family in there. So I really think that's about as low as it gets. I question some of the references in there. There 20 so odd people from the organization. Listen,
it's all people about to be fired.
I said yesterday he should make a statement. He should say something. Okay, I mean that's obvious. Mm-hmm. But as far as and then you're hearing the Bobs. You talk more about the Bobs than you're going to talk about anything else. I guess his cronies are in there that don't have anything to do with football. So I don't know if that's true or not. He should address all of that. But the one thing that I don't agree with the Athletic, and I wanted to get the point across, is leave the kids out of it. Okay, leave his sons out of it. You don't need to be doing that. All right, give those kids a chance. I mean, it's 18 and 16. They need the pressure of that. That's bullshit. So I'm out on that when it comes to family. Draw the line, bro.
Yeah,
especially kids.
100%.
especially kids.
Well, here's the thing, though, Ed, right? I think a couple things could be true here. Until Woody Johnson hires competent football people, all criticism of the team and the failures and the lack of winning, I think all that's fair. What I also think needs to be said is that when you see a story like this that comes out, which is now the third story that essentially tries to put blame on other people, most notably the owner, for why this team hasn't won, it reads like it's a bunch of people who are disgruntled that they were fired, ripping on their boss because they're trying to do damage control for their own careers. And when I see some of the stuff coming out there, and I know it's coming from Joe Douglas, Rex Hogan, Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh, or people close to them feeding this information out there, I just think it's lame. Like, ultimately, the reason why the New York Jets aren't good is not because of Woody Johnson saying, hey, don't make this move, do this instead. Like, that's not what happened here. You think Woody Johnson is telling Joe Douglas, hey, take Mekhi Becton instead of Tristan Wirfs? Do you think Woody Johnson is in there in the draft meeting saying, yeah, take this player over that player? Like, that's not what's happening here. So ultimately, Joe Douglas had more than enough time to turn this around on a 6-year contract where he was paid well. Robert Saleh had 3 years where they didn't win. So I just feel like a couple things could be true. You could criticize Woody, and at the same time, you could acknowledge the reason why this team is stunk is because they've continued to hire people who weren't good enough at their jobs to get this team back on track.
Well, I would agree with that because the bottom line is the bottom line, right? I mean, that's always the way it is. Winning and losing separates everything. Listen, as far as the past regime, my thing, I've told you this in the past, Jake, when you write an article, and it's sources, put a name on it. Put a name on it. When you hear all these sources, now we're speculating it's Joe Douglas, it's Robert Saleh, it's Mike LaFleur, it's Rex Hogan. I mean, but there's still no names put on it.
No.
There's still, yes, this is all speculation.
And let me tell you this too, a little inside media too, Ed. When you see the pushback would be from the writers, well, we spoke with people that are still in the building. Yeah, they're in the building for 3 more weeks. They're about to get fired. Everyone knows that's in that building that they're gone. So that's why people are speaking freely now. Everyone's got an axe to grind because they understand their time is coming to an end. Think about the amount of people that are about to lose their jobs in 3 weeks because you have a new front office coming in, then a new coaching staff coming in. So there's a lot of people who can talk freely now. What do they care? The season's over in 3 weeks. That's why the pushback will be it's not just disgruntled, fired employees. It's people in the building right now. Yeah, but they're not going to be in the building in 3 weeks. So it's like you can massage it however you want, but it's all still coming from the same place. People with an axe to grind that try and explain away why Joe Douglas and this regime has had 6 years to turn this thing around, and the most amount of games they won has been 7 3 times in 6 years.
Hey, listen, that's always the bottom line, right? Is how wins and losses, and that's what decides everything. My thing is, man, there's a real vendetta in athletic that they continuously are doing. Makes 3 different articles. And, now they're saying, I was listening to Diana Rossini on The Fan yesterday with Brandon Tierney. And she says they've been working on it for 6 months. I mean, what are we doing? It's what a hatchet job, And, to me, when I see that, the first thing I think is she's got a vendetta with Rodgers and make it look even worse because he's part of the organization. You got to always look a little further and say, why is this continuing? Sometimes your credibility, there comes a point where how many articles, when does the credibility go out the window? No, I mean, it becomes personal.
Especially when the story changes multiple times with some of the stuff in the article. That's part of it too. But then no one hears the retraction. No one sees the retraction or hears the different version of it. Can I play you an example of what I'm talking about with that? So everyone's talking about the Madden story and all, they nixed the trade because of a Madden rating. And then, you hear someone like Brian Costello, who is not known to be pro Jets. He's coming out and being the voice of reason. I don't know if you saw this. This was Brian Costello yesterday on his podcast.
I'll just tell you what I've heard and known. At the time of the Judy trade, I was told by somebody I trust a lot that the Jets offered a draft pick. I can't remember, it was 4th or 5th round. It was a day 3 pick and Alan Lazard. That was their offer for Jerry Jeudy. I was told Denver preferred Cleveland's offer, which was all draft picks, because Denver just really didn't want Alan Lazard. And go back to March and how Alan Lazard was viewed. He had a terrible year. He still had another year with $11-12 million. I think he had this year coming to him. So it's understandable. I think, from talking to people, would Woody Johnson have made a remark about his Madden rating? Probably. Did he squash the trade because of his Madden rating? No. Like, I think that's where we get a little blurry here is I have a feeling from the way they wrote that the source was in Denver that told them that. It said the Jets told the Broncos that this was the reason. Could Joe Douglas have made an offhand remark to George Payton and said, the owner thinks Judy's not that good because of his Madden rating? Yeah, that could have happened. And that's kind of the telephone game that we play. And then it becomes, he squashed the trade. I cannot see any world in where Woody Johnson squashed the trade because of the Madden rating. Would Woody have mentioned the Madden rating in a meeting? Absolutely.
But you see how like this game of telephone, as Costello puts it, happens, and then it's like, well, what's true, what's not true? It doesn't matter. It's in an article, and people want to believe it because it's the Jets, and this is where losing comes in. You don't get the benefit of the doubt, so then it's just LOL Jets, and it's like that's not why this team under Joe Douglas is 30-64. Like that article just reads, "Hey, I have an axe to grind. I'm Joe Douglas. I'm Rex Hogan. I'm all these guys who are about to be fired. Let's dump on the owner on the way out and try and smear their reputation as they're basically going to replace all of us."
Well, you got to also the timeline. We're very into the Jets, right? I mean, that's why we're doing this show. When you go back a little further, and it's the Denver Broncos. What happened with the Denver Broncos? What happened with the Denver Broncos? Sean Payton, Aaron Rodgers talking about Hackett. That whole thing was very, very, it was a battle going on before we played them. All right. And there was a lot going on before that game. Right. And before the season. Well, that all happened before the season. So a lot, you got to always look into where is it coming from?
Right.
And can we give the Jets can we zing the Jets a little more by, releasing this about Jeudy, right? I mean,
by the way, Devontae Adams is better than Jerry Jeudy. So like this,
yes.
You know what I mean? It's just that conveniently gets left out.
I think we did just fine, as far as that goes. So, but I always look into the overall history when I start seeing other people getting involved. And I heard the Denver Broncos. Well, my first thought was Sean Payton, was Nate Hackett, that whole thing. When Aaron says, "Don't have my, coach in your mouth. Don't put my coach in your mouth." Talk about my coach. So There's a lot to it, bro. There's always more to things, and that's just life. So, as far as the athletic, I mean, I don't think there's any question that there's a vendetta going on because it just doesn't stop. And I don't know if this is the end of it. I mean, it's funny how the timing, we just got started with GM searches. We're able to get ahead of the curve. And what do? They come out with the article to maybe destroy some of the candidates from coming here. That's my thought. My thought is that can't help a candidate. Like, we are human beings. People are looking and going, well, should I really get involved in that? Should I really get involved in that? If they believe that it's a factual thing, this is why I say with Woody Johnson, he needs to address it. Because, you got a coaching, you're in a search for a GM and a head coach. You should I would say you should at least make some statement. You don't want to address everything? Don't address everything, but address something. Let them know that you have a pulse and that, listen, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to accomplish this. Like I said in my Instagram, are we in good hands? Because it don't seem like it.
100%.
We'd like to know we're in good hands.
100%. Well, even if Woody comes out and says, what's out there, I'm not going to comment directly on because not everything is accurate, but I want every Jet fan to know it's ultimately on me that we've lost. And I promise you, we are bringing in the right people for the search. We're going to hire the right people, and those people are going to have every right to do their jobs without any way they see fit. Like, that's all you have to say. That, and that this is like, hey, just like when Leon Hess screwed up with Rich Kotite and finally got serious and wanted to win, it was a wake-up call when he hired Parcells. All you can hope as a Jet fan is that they realize the issue here, and it's like, we got to get the right people in the building. And I really do hope, Ed, that's people with experience. Maybe part of the reason Woody keeps hiring guys that have never had any experience is so we can walk all over them. Well, get serious about winning and bring in guys that have been proven in the roles they're in. You can't tell me the Jets are not in a good spot if Mike Vrabel's the head coach and Thomas Dimitroff, for example, is their general manager. Like, hire people that have done the jobs at a high level. Vrabel, the most qualified coach out there. Dimitroff came within, minutes of a Super Bowl win as a GM if, the Falcons didn't have the biggest choke job of all time. So, that's what we're talking about. Hire people that have done it and stay out of their way. And one thing we could say about Woody, when he trusts the people in charge, I never heard anything about him meddling with the other guys that were there a long time. It was only in Douglas's 6th year, Salah's 4th, that he started to meddle and interfere because he lost faith in those guys.
Yeah. Well, it seems like what you could see, he's got the team for 25 years. I don't remember him being involved in any other. You've never heard any articles other than the last year and a half, I guess. It probably started in the offseason last year. I was hearing little whispers from certain people about that. And I was like, that can't be. And, but the bottom line is he needs to address the fan base because you're getting hatchet. You're getting murdered. If somebody's murdering me like that, I have to respond to that at some point. All right? And there's a way to do it. You don't need to go like we just talked about. You don't need to go to every example that they put in that article. Just make a statement. And, you're doing yourself good and you're doing the search that you're trying to get these GM and the head coach and tremendous personnel in the NFL that we're trying to get. Well, that will give confidence to everyone that I'm not, it's not a clown show like The Athletic is broadcasting it to be, okay? That's just my point why I did what I said last night, okay? Because that's ultimately what we're trying to do. We're waiting passionately for a GM and a head coach to lead this team into the direction. We have so much talent on this team, including Aaron Rodgers, who is signed, okay, who I want to see back, okay? I want to see him back. I've told you this numerous times. The guy has plenty left. He's going to go light it up somewhere else. That's going to piss me off. All right. We don't have an answer at quarterback right now. Okay. But I know we don't know what's going to go on because we don't know who the GM is. The point is that the owner is the owner. The owner's there. Everybody else is gone. We don't know the future. You have to address what needs to be addressed here because they're killing you. And you need to address that and give the fan base and the rest of the NFL confidence that we are in good hands, that we're not some fucking shit show, okay? And that's what we're looking like for a very long time. So, we'll see where it goes, but they need to address this. As far as, listen, I've told you, I want to see Gruden or Vrabel. I've been saying this for a month now. You need somebody with experience that's won in this league that could sit on that podium when he has to do a press conference and he's constantly, they're constantly having to talk to this media. And, you got to have a pedigree. You don't have a pedigree, it's not going to go over well. I don't want a first-time head coach.
It's not a job for first-timers.
GM. You need to have guys that have been in this league and have won in this league, that have had success in the league. Not necessarily have to be a world champion. That always helps. But you need to have success. People look at that no matter where you are in life. They always look, what's your resume? What's your resume? When people talk, they look and say, when you're listening to somebody, are you really paying attention if they have no resume and they're talking? I mean, it's a little less. That's what life's about. It's all about experiences. And have you put your time in? Have you done your time? And that's really the bottom line. That's what we need in the Jet organization right now. We need leaders that can come in here that have a pedigree and are going to do what they have to do, and Woody needs to stay out of it, which he did in the past, especially according to Mike Tannenbaum. He said he was here, and Mike's been here was probably here more than anyone else since Woody's. I'm talking about since Woody's here, right? Mike's run with the Jets organization, I don't think anybody's been here as long as he has. With that kind of level, whether he was the assistant GM, the cap specialist, or the GM. Right or wrong, Mike Tannenbaum had been with us for a very long time. So he's telling you that Woody never got involved, okay? So there is something to be said about the last regime, and maybe there is banter. I don't know. It's all sources. Nobody puts a name on it. So I don't know what to believe, all right? I can't accuse Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh and Rex Hogan and Mike LaFleur when I don't know if that's really factual. We're assuming that. We don't know.
Well, connect the dots. Why would this be coming out now?
I understand. I mean, I understand that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I don't like is that it's a fucking source. I can't stand it. I hate sources. Just put a name on it.
They never do. They never do. And look, honestly, you want a crazy take on this whole thing? Them firing Joe Douglas when they did is a good thing, because now these stories come out in December as you're starting the search, and not in January when you're just getting it underway and you're competing with every other team that has openings that's trying to get their new GM and new coach in place. The Jets are just one of a couple teams that has both vacancies that are open. Some teams will just have coaches that are that they need to hire. They have their GM in place, so get it out of the way now. And then when you get to January, you should be prepared if you're Woody Johnson and Chris Johnson when you're meeting with these candidates and they ask you, hey, what's the deal with these athletic stories? What's true, what's not? You got to be able to have an answer for these candidates. You got to be able to say, if you're Woody, I lost faith in my previous regime. We made moves to be aggressive. I thought we had a good team. It didn't work. I learned from it. You have my word that you're going to be able to run it your way. Like, you got to have answers to the question. Mike Vrabel's going to ask you what's true, what's not. Do I have autonomy to do it the way I want to do it? You got to be prepared, and that's how you got to be able to sell Mike Vrabel on the job. Hey, I learned from what happened here. We went all in. It didn't work. I lost faith in the people running the show. I want to hire you, give you the resources, and stay out of the way. That is what he has to sell to any candidate if you're going to turn this nonsense around.
Amen. Amen. You couldn't have said it better. You couldn't have said it any better. All right? Listen. We're going to hatchet Woody Johnson for that article. What you got to give him credit for, and this is not being a homer, so I don't want to hear it. Woody Johnson did the right thing by hiring the 33 team, right? The 33rd team. I like what they did, and they started early. He could have very well waited till the season ended and then started it. Okay? So he's learned from some of the past that let me get a jump on this. All right? So he's getting a jump on all the things. And now this is why I'm saying he needs to address this hatchet job that's going on for 3 different articles in 6 weeks? I mean, come on, man. This is insane. So, listen, get the right guys in here. Show the confidence to the fan base. Show the confidence to the candidates that are coming in here. Like you just said, these guys will ask questions. We want the best guys in here. All right? I want Vrabel in here. I want Gruden in here. I want an established GM, whether it's John Robinson or Dimitrieff or, these guys, he's bringing in good guys in here. He brought in, Nagy yesterday from the Senior Bowl. Another guy that has,
Jim
tons
Nagy.
of experience.
Yeah, and you know what's great too? Talk to as many people as possible. That's the advantage that you have right now with these jobs becoming available as early as they are. Ask questions to these candidates. Hey, which front offices do you think do it the best in the league? What makes them successful? And take notes on all their answers and see what the most common response is, and then see if you could find someone that kind of checks all the boxes on what you're looking for in that position. Like they have a chance to get this right. And I know it feels crappy right now, Jet fans, but you hope something like these articles is like the wake up call to Woody on like, I don't know what I'm doing. I gotta get people in here that I trust and let them do their thing. And that's where I think having Tannenbaum, as you bring up, who knows Woody, has worked for him and has said on the record and off the record, Woody never meddled with letting him make any movie he wanted to make. Like, that's important because you're going to need Mike to sell a candidate on why, hey, it's okay to work for Woody. Here's how you deal with him. Here's what you need to do to be able to get along with him. Like, that's what Rex did better than anyone. He made Woody feel a part of it, and Woody loved him and let him do his thing.
You know, soon I told you, a few shows ago that I loved when Tannenbaum, you had him on the show, and you were telling me you were having him on after that. You know, Tannenbaum, like I said, Tannenbaum's been with us a long time. You know, he had success. You know, he had the most success since we've been with the Jets. And since Woody's been around, that's the most success he's had. Took him to 2 championship games, just missed out on a Super Bowl. And, Mike has the best interest for our organization, I believe. There's no doubt about it. So, I think he's in good hands. I think he made the right move as far as that goes. Yep. And Mike has a lot of connections in this league. He's in the know. He knows what's going on. And that's what you want. So that part of it is absolutely 100% I agree with. I love what they're doing as far as that goes. Now you need to give the confidence level to the rest of the candidates and to the fan base that what they're doing to you in the Athletic is, address it. You don't got to address every freaking subject that they said. Just show that you know what the hell is going on. The fan. I would never let somebody kill me like that. There's no way. And then you bring your family into it. Crossing the line, bro. Crossing the line. When I seen that yesterday, and I seen those writers bring his their kids into it. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You don't talk about an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old. They don't know. They don't know what they don't know. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's personal. To me, that's personal. That's how I feel. That became personal. There's business, and then there's personal. That was personal. And shame on you. Shame on you for doing that. That's not right. You don't do that. You don't bring somebody's family, especially a kid. Kids, you don't do that. You don't do that to kids. I don't agree with that. No way, no how. I don't give a shit with the football awarding it to Garrett Wilson and the Madden. You know what? Listen. They're excited. Their father's the owner of the team. I would be excited too. You don't need to be doing that, okay? And saying that. That's, and there's a way to go about it. Let the family handle that, Don't be putting that out nationally. That's bullshit. Such bullshit, man.
There's a new version of Bricked Up these days.
Let's get bricked up.
That's where we're at right now. I mean, it's just the whole thing is ridiculous. I keep coming back to it, Ed. The article reads like, hey, I'm Joe Douglas. I'm Rex Hogan. I'm a bunch of guys who are about to be fired. Woody's terrible. We had no chance, and that's why we're bad. And it's like Woody's not sitting there in these draft meetings being like, hey, Joe, you really got to take Elijah Moore here. You got to take Denzel Mims. You got to basically not pick any impact starters after the top 45 in the draft minus Michael Carter and Jamie and Sherwood. Like, let's call it for what it is. Joe Douglas, while he picked some good players and did some good things, ultimately the record's got to count at some point. And this year's been an abject disaster, and he deserved to lose his job. We can't say Joe Douglas didn't get a fair shake. He got to work with 3 different coaches, 3 different quarterbacks. He survived the Zach Wilson pick and got to bring in Rodgers. And then last year, as we saw, if he actually got off his and added a legitimate backup, they could have made the playoffs last year. It's just I'm just so tired of like the mopiness and excuse making that comes from this now previous regime. And you got to just hope they can get it right here. And that's the only way this changes. James Dolan is not magically this great owner. He just finally hired the right people to run his organization. Like, I'm not hearing sell the team chance at James Dolan right now. If you're a Knicks fan, that's what you got to hope Woody could do with getting these 2 hires correct.
Listen, I agree. We've gone through a lot of things in New York, with different owners and stuff. So, we've seen it. Seen with the Wilpons. You know, they wound up getting murdered with Matt Madoff. They were cheap as hell, right? I mean, they lost their fortune. You know, the Mets fans. I'm a Mets fan, not like a Jeff fan, but I'm a Mets fan. And you know, you see the difference now, right? I mean, you know, Woody. One thing you can never say about Woody, he doesn't spend money. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me he doesn't spend money. That's bullshit. Woody will spend money. He has no problem spending money. And, you know, he just hasn't made the right decisions. You know, when you hear that article, wasn't that in the article, Bob's at the end? I think he's got some of his cronies that are, you know, his, I guess, guys that he, you know, makes money with that besides football that are his cronies. And they're saying they're in the locker room. You know, he listens to their advice. I mean, come on, man. You know, football guys, I told you this. I stand by this wholeheartedly when it comes to the culture. Man, there should only be football people in the football building. That's all it should be in there.
Agreed.
Football people should be in the football building. You should have a whole nother goddamn building for the press and all your cronies. They go over there. They don't go in the football building. Football operations are football operations. It's the way it is, the way it should be. That's the way it should be. You think that ain't happening in Pittsburgh, in Green Bay? Are you shitting me? Come on. The teams that are successful, they ain't putting up with any of that bullshit. You know, it's football. It's all about football. It's what it is. You think it is in Baltimore and the Ravens? Listen, the teams that are successful, Kansas City, you think they're putting up with that shit? No way.
And they have a culture where, you know, the people brought in, they have success and they have experience, and everyone falls in line because they won. Like the only way you change things is to win. That's really the bottom line.
That's always the bottom line. And Lord knows we haven't won in 56 years in running. Okay. What really pisses me off, never mind the 14 years of not being in the playoffs, the 22 years is the one that drives me out of my mind. The 22 years that we haven't had a home playoff game. I mean, think about what we're talking about. 22 years. We're on 3 decades with no home playoff game. What is happening? It's unbelievable. It's unreal. And, you know, yet you still have the fan base showing up, you know. And listen, the fan base is about as down as I've seen it, honestly. They're about as down as I've seen it. You see these, they're not renewing their season tickets. I have so many fans that I know that aren't, renewing their season tickets. So, I mean, this is the time where he needs to get this right. I'll tell you that. He's got to get this right. Jake, nobody's going to stand for a new coach, a first-time head coach coming in here. I'm telling you. That's going to be.
It's hard to sell it right now.
Like
it's hard to sell another.
Aaron Glenn coming in here, Ben Johnson. I don't give a shit, Ben Johnson. No, but Ben Johnson's the flavor of the week. All right? He hasn't proven anything in this league. All right? He's a good offensive coordinator. You know, your personnel has something to do with that. I'm not saying Ben Johnson's not a great coach, but I don't know if he's going to be a head coach. There's a difference. We thought Robert Saleh was going to be a great head coach, didn't we?
I mean, when they hired him,
he was going to be a great head coach. He was a great defensive coordinator.
He was the top guy. Douglas was the top guy. You know,
his discipline went out the window. Out the window. We need a coach with discipline. That right there, I want. We need stability in this organization. You know, what were we last year? We were the leader in penalties. In 2023, we led the league in penalties. This year, we're third. Highest.
Right.
So right there, discipline is a major factor. Okay. So I want somebody with the pedigree to come in here and let's go. You know, it makes a difference. All the way around. I just hope that this Hatchet article doesn't sway a guy like Mike Vrabel from coming here. You know? I mean, Vrabel's going to have some opportunities. We're going to see. Listen, I'm not so Vrabel's going to be the guy that's going to come here because Ohio State may open up their position.
It could.
He's
He said he hates recruiting though, and the way.
Oh well, that's a good thing. I hope that's.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that one. That's a good thing.
No, very good thing. I'm not saying he wouldn't take it over the Jets job, but I still think a guy is taking an NFL job over any college gig.
I would hope so, but you don't know who else is going to get fired. Is Mayo going to get fired in New England?
He could. I mean, that'd be surprising.
Is Dabble going to get fired in the Giants?
Dable's gone. He's gone.
Well, then there's going to be other openings.
That's why you got to write the check.
Other openings.
You got to write the check and give full autonomy to that guy. I mean, if you want, you want to get serious, Woody, you got to go full Leon Hess pursuing Bill Parcells in '97. That's what needs to happen here.
I tell you, I hope Gruden gets an opportunity. I hope they didn't railroad that guy, because that's bullshit. You watch him with his X's and O's.
Oh, yeah.
On Barstool, on his whiteboard. I mean, come on, man. That man knows. I mean, you talk about pedigree. That's a pedigree right there. I mean, how good would Chucky be coming in here? You tell me this fan base wouldn't be fired up for Chucky. Are you kidding me? The fan base would be out of their minds if John Gruden came in here. All right? And he should get an interview. I'm going to tell you, if he doesn't get an interview, they're railroading him, bro. They are railroading him. If you don't get an interview this year, come on, man. That's strictly NFL. That's the NFL.
It's J-E-T-S, Jets. I love Fireman Ed, too.
Yeah.
Johnny, that's my guy, Johnny. Chucky, I love you, Chucky.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Comments, questions, super chats for Fireman Ed joining us here in his weekly spot. Ed, are you prepared to bundle up on Sunday? I'm seeing 20 degrees, 15 degrees is the projected kickoff temperature.
That's just you know what they do? Never mind, the season's been a disaster. You know what they did? Now the football gods come in and go, let me give you a little something more. They take the sledgehammer out and go bang over the head. Now not only do you got to go watch your team, now you're going to freeze your ass off. All right. So yeah, it's absolutely it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. This season is incredible. But I will say the last 2 weeks at least we've had a little excitement. Aaron and Devontae Adams and our offense. There's a lot to be hopeful for. There's a lot of pieces on that offense that could, the cupboard's not bare, as they would say. Aaron looked awful good. Shows you that arm is still alive and well, baby. Alive and well. How about that dime? Never mind the one that Lazard dropped. That was a fucking dime. That was an absolute missile. He's got to make that catch. And then right back and gets Devontae. I mean, what a throw. I mean, listen, tremendous. Anybody that questions Aaron Rodgers is out of their mind. His talent level is through the roof. Just this. That's why he's a top 5 quarterback. That's why he's going to be an instant Hall of Famer. He's walking, he's skating in. He's skating into Canton. It's going to be a first ballot, unanimous vote. So, I mean, listen, the Jets, we found our left tackle. Can we say that? We found our left tackle. Olu.
Hell yeah, can we say that?
All right.
Hell yeah, can we say that?
You got 4 guys on that line for next year. When the hell did we have that? When was the last time we had 4 guys on a line going into the game, into the next season, God willing, hope, knock on wood. And you got Brees, the running back position is flourishing. You got Garrett, obviously. I don't know why they're not playing the kid Corley. I have no idea why that's happening. I mean, maybe he's in the doghouse because of him not owning up to his ball that he dropped. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the hell's happening there. That makes no sense to me.
Another Joe Douglas special, baby. We had him as our 4th-rated wide receiver. That means they thought Brian Thomas Jr., who was the best player on the field Sunday for the Jaguars, was not as good as Malachi Corley, who can't even get active on a 3-10 football team going into that game Sunday. It's just another example of this front office not being good enough, and then all these athletic stories come out, and I'm not trying to say Woody's a good owner because he's not until proven otherwise, but the idea that, I report to a teenager and Woody's the worst. It's like, Joe, you and your staff had all the opportunities to get this right, and you went 30-64, lost 2/3 of your games. I'm tired of hearing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the bottom line, remember what Parcells said. Your record is what it is.
Yeah, and you know what? I would like add nuance and context to the record, because I was like, you know what? Rodgers got hurt 4 plays in last year. He got the mulligan. This has got to be the year, though. You got to win. No one's going to make excuses for you if you can't win this year. And they're 4-10. They're 4-10 with this kind of talent. They shouldn't be 4-10. They've had the lead with under a minute to go in 5 of their last 7 games, Ed, and they're 2-5 in those games. Like, I'm sick of it, man. This team is so much better than the record, and it's a disgrace. We're sitting here talking about how bad this season's been with the talent I still believe this roster is equipped with.
Well, I'll tell you what, that defensive line, between the personnel that Joe Douglas didn't sign, the trades he made, the free agents that he did, that did not. That there's no way that worked out. And I do believe, now I will say it, I do believe Quinnen Williams is hurt. I don't think there's any question about it.
He's playing something.
I think Quinnen's shoulder, they never talk about it. I think his shoulder, it's got to be. He's not making that push. He doesn't have that push off. You could see it. He's too good of a player, bro. When you see a guy be a non-factor when you're that talented, no, you don't fall off the face of the earth.
Happy birthday to Quinnen, by the way.
Oh, is his birthday?
Today is his birthday.
Love it. Number 95. Great. Listen, there's a pillar of our team that you like, that you're represented by Quinnen Williams. If you're going to have representation of your team, well, Quinnen Williams, start right at the top there. Quinnen's hurt. There's no question in my mind. There's no question. They mentioned it one time real early in the season about a shoulder, and they never really mentioned it anymore. And I'm watching him, on film, and I'm going, he's just not getting the push. And it's absolutely got to be something to do with it.
You know what hurts him too? He doesn't have the same guys around him that he's had, right? So he's getting double teamed more, and there's no one that's able to take advantage of that. So it's not accentuating what he's bringing to the table. He still has made plays, though. You look at some of the double team rate and pressure percentage, but I'm with you. There's something happening with him, believe me. And our tackle position, our defensive tackle position is a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Mm-hmm. We're pushed off the ball. We're listen. How about that Javon Kinlaw signing, Joe Douglas? Nicely done.
That didn't work out.
Lecky Fotu. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the guys we had last year. I mean, you can't compare. JFM was in there, and Jefferson was in there. We lost, right? We lost a lot of players inside position, and it doesn't help that Jermaine Johnson's not there, and forget about Hassan Reddick. I mean, what a disaster. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's mailing it in and just collecting a paycheck. I mean, have some balls, have some heart, have some heart. Are you kidding me? Hassan Reddick, Jake, what are we talking about with Hassan Reddick? He is doing nothing. He's collecting a paycheck. What are they doing? I wouldn't even play him.
No, I wouldn't play him. It's a disgrace. He embarrassed the organization.
Yes,
he hurt the team. The guy has a half a sack in 7 games. This guy wanted to be paid like TJ Watt, like Myles Garrett. And look, there's people talking about, Garrett Wilson, he's unhappy, he's going to request a trade. Even if he did that, you think he's ever going to hold out after watching what happened with Hassan Reddick? Jamar Chase never held out. Brandon Ayuk, he wanted to be traded. Guess what? He got an extension. Like, Hassan Reddick has really shown an entire league how dumb you could be if you try and hold out in the modern NFL. And then he comes back and he's done absolutely nothing. He's probably one of my least favorite Jets of all time. I can't stand him.
Well, how could you? How could you? And when you watch him, you can see he's dogging it. You can tell he ain't putting that effort. You watch his film. You watch his film during his career, and then you watch him with the Jets. Like, if you had 2 screens and you could see the way he played, right? Whether it was with the Eagles or the Arizona Cardinals, and he plays with the Jets, what a joke. It's comical. Like he's actually taking money, stealing money. That's what I would say. I would say you're stealing money. You're stealing money.
Comical.
And what happened to your pride? There's a lot of guys like that defense. That defense is very, very disappointing. you can go across the board with a lot of guys there. And I mean, come on, look, Jake, do you have any confidence that on Sunday and the following Sunday that we may not get we may give up 40 points?
I mean, if they keep the
out of your
Rams
mind
to
to think that they're not going to give up 40 fucking points.
Yeah.
In the next 2 weeks with Stafford and Josh Allen coming in here. I mean, us going up there. I mean, come on, man. You know, the only way that'll not happen is the cold will be that cold that you know the points just aren't flourishing because of the conditions. It's the only way, because you don't have any confidence that our defense can make a stop. I mean, even Sunday against the Jaguars, were you confident that Mac Jones was not they made Mac Jones look good Sunday. They made Mac Jones look good. Come on,
comical.
Man.
I mean, let's be real. The way they mishandled the clock at the end of that game is another just embarrassment on the people that are in charge of this franchise. But I mean, what else is new? 3 games to go, Ed.
We won the game, and that's the bottom line. I was glad to see them get success and, you know, have some joy in that locker room and going on the plane home and the bus ride. You know, I was glad to see that for them, you know, because there's a lot of great players on that team that deserve better. All right. You know, we picking at Hassan Reddick and certain guys, but you know what? There's a lot of guys that are giving their all on that team. And, you know, you feel for them, you know, because what could have been, you know, our goddamn kicker went into the shitter. All right. I don't know. Greg the leg, you don't even hear from him anymore. I mean, we don't even know what his status is. He might be out of the league. You know? I mean, it's crazy. The games we lost were insane. Losing that friggin' Denver game, and Aaron got his ass whipped. I never seen him get his ass whipped like that.
It was terrible.
No, he got his ass whipped. That Denver defense is for real. I was surprised they gave up all those points last night. They didn't start like that.
No.
They didn't start that way.
Whatever. It's been one of the worst years ever, if not the worst. So
I'm gonna freeze my ass off.
That's
come
right.
Sunday. Are you gonna probably be working, right?
I'm on the radio at 4. So on your way back, after the game, you want to call into the show? We'll put you right on it.
Well, you know, I might be a few Irish missed in.
That's even better.
So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get a win, but they're gonna be tough with that offense of the Rams. Ain't gonna be easy. They're on a roll right now.
Yeah.
Talk about a coach. That's a coach.
They need the game. Buffalo's going to need the game for seeding next week. Like, you know, I'm optimistic with how Aaron's looked. We know he's healthy, but he's playing in 70 degrees in perfect conditions the last 2 weeks. Let's see what he looks like now down the stretch. If he plays well, then I think it's a no-brainer. You got to figure out a way to make it work with him next year.
Right there with you. Aaron's used to the cold, so won't be any excuses for that. Played in it for 18 years, so I'm not worried about the cold for Aaron.
Yep.
Maybe some of the other guys, not Aaron.
No, he should be all right. Let's see it. Ed.
See where it goes, bro. See where it goes.
Fireman Ed Lager. Tell the people, Ed.
The Fireman Ed Lager. I don't have a can on me because I'm not in my house right now. I'm in my son's house, and he don't drink. So better for him than me. The Fireman Ed Lager is 100% of the donations go to John Monet, who had a tragic accident. And if you haven't heard, he had a tragic accident on a boat, jumped off the boat and didn't realize, and he broke his neck, and he's now paralyzed. He's trying to walk again. He is a loyal Jet fan. Him and his family, military family from Norfolk, Virginia. And John needs some help. John needs absolute as much help as he can get. He's trying to walk again. He comes up to the games twice a year, you know. This year he's been up there twice with his wheelchair. He loves the Jets, the green and white like we do. If you find it in your heart, you see the QR code on the can. if you could spare a few dollars for John, it would really, every little bit helps, you know, and we're trying to get him to walk again. I'd love to see him next year at this time be walking into Jet Life Stadium for a playoff game, for a preview of a playoff game. So, love John Monhay and his family. Thank you. I appreciate whatever you guys could do.
You see it up there on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Check it out.
Appreciate
Fireman
it.
Ed. Lager.
Appreciate it.
It's a great beer. It really is a great lager.
100%. 100% of the proceeds go to John Monhay. I do not take one single penny from that.
Check it out.
That's the John.
BoleroSnortBrewery.com, and you'll be able to find it right there.
Bolero Snort. Great guys over there. Bobby and the crew. Love them. They're good people. Good people.
Ed, all the love. Stay warm Sunday, and we'll talk soon.
All right, man, Jake. All the best, pal. Hang in there. I'll try to get on. I'll try to give a call on the show.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, the great.
Enjoy your holiday.
Yes, absolutely. The great Fireman Ed. Merry Christmas to him. Happy holidays. Comments, questions, super chats. They'll cut the line. Let's give a shout out to Addison. He wants 5 raffle tickets with his name on it. He wants to compete for the big trading card soiree of prizes here and the $50 Copper John's gift card. We got a lot on the line. I got a Curtis Martin signed trading card that will be raffled away as well. So we're just giving out a bunch of gifts, baby. It's the season of giving here on the program.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Addison gifted 5 memberships. Here's who got them. The Cheshire Cat, Russell Barton, John Zelli, Siyun Vegas, and Dana Andrews, all receiving channel memberships. Make it rain. I also would like to share that we have yet another bounty that has been placed on Alan. We will send him to the hole immediately if we hit the number for any super chat. If we get 15 total at any price point, Alan goes to the hole for the remainder of this show. So you see the bounty's been established. Thank you to everyone who supports. Shake and Bake writes in, yo, Jake, good morning. Was wondering what the best option is for the Jets at quarterback moving forward. A-Rod next season with Travis sitting behind him. You could argue it's A-Rod next year with drafting another rookie and Jordan Travis somehow factoring in if he's healthy. I think it still depends on a lot, though, right? Does Aaron want to be here? Does the new regime want him here? Is he willing to learn a new offense? Who the head coach is? I think there's a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, let's skip ahead. This guy has some super chats, but he just dropped our 10 spot of channel memberships for the people. 10 raffle tickets, 10 memberships coming through for Coach James.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
Ah, the hell with it.
Alan Hernandez, Jonathan Gala, NYJ Dave, Kyle McLeod, JetFan051, D Brown, Carl Johnson, Brandon the H, Eric Rivera, all receiving channel memberships from Coach James Rodriguez, baby. Yeah, that's awesome, James. Thank you so much. Let's make it rain memberships, people. I'm in the Christmas spirit. Let's go. Some super chats here. Mother effing Chew, whole money for Alan. Love it. 25. Drama gets views and clicks. Plus, it's in the New York market. Absolutely. Mr. Downtown, athletics should be banned for meta-like behavior. Manish Mehta. Remember him? Coach James writes in with a 13-month Asmaniac super chat. I am a leadership coach and the CEO of a small restaurant chain and chain of auto shops. We have been lacking leadership for a long time. 53 years as a Jet fan. We need a winning coach. Stop the craziness. I agree. We do need a winning coach. I think we need to hire people who have won before. Dimitrov, Rabel, 2025. I'm in. Coach James writes in, we need a good experienced GM and winning experience head coach. Couldn't agree more. I didn't even see this. It didn't even see this super chat as I was suggesting 2 experienced guys in those roles. Let them execute. Creating a winning culture is what we need. Right leadership. Went from 4-12 to 12-4 with Parcells. Same team, different leadership. It was actually worse than that, James. They went from 1-15 to 9-7 with Parcells in year 1. And then in year 2, 12-4 AFC Championship game. It could turn quickly if you get the right people here. 25. Think losing JFM hurt us more than we realized. Saw a clip of him going over to Bo Nix saying we got your back after his third pick on Sunday. I mean, JFM's a really good player, and that was such a stupid trade. Just for fun. Jets can't even catch a break on Jeopardy. Yeah, I saw the Jets got clowned on Jeopardy last night, right? Which team has made the Super Bowl that hasn't been back since after the moon landing, right? Something, some version of that question. Only like 70 of you tagged me in it on Twitter and Instagram or DM'd it to me. Man, Allen writes in, you know, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 23 touchdowns while Josh Allen has only thrown for 25. The stupidity of that comment still festers throughout this chat. Allen taking a shot at Rob from Glenhead. Unbelievable. Of all the dramatic things I've ever seen. Addison says, swap Allen for Robert and you got it. Interesting. People want Rob from Glenhead sent to the hole. Rob, if you're out there, how would you respond to a potential bounty on you? Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're tuning in, and please subscribe to the channel. We're presented today by Underdog. Download the Underdog app and start making your picks. Tomorrow's a pretty epic sports day, huh? We got NFL and college football playoffs on the same damn day. Pretty good. Pretty good. We got Chiefs Texans at 1. Followed by Steelers Ravens at 4:30. And if you're into the college football playoff, SMU and Penn State's at noon, Clemson, Texas at 4, Tennessee and Ohio State at 8. I don't think Mike Vrabel's going to go to Ohio State, but I'd root for Ohio State to beat Tennessee unless you're the big fella, because then I think it's more likely Ryan Day just keeps his job, and then that's potentially one less option for Vrabel if you're in the camp like I am, that's the preference. So, keep that in mind. Tom Ace writes in, football orgasms this weekend. Yes, I'm sure Underdog will love this segue. Create your own football orgasm this weekend with Underdog. Promo code Asman, baby. Download the app. Get your picks in for all the games. It's a lot of fun, I promise. And Underdog is continuing to up their offers for new customers. You got a deposit match up to $1,000 right now. They're offering a ton of specials this weekend for the college football playoffs. So take full advantage. Download that Underdog app and get your picks in for all the games this weekend, including Jets Rams. I'll put together an Underdog pick'em for Jets Rams that I'll throw on the Discord as I always do each and every week. Ladies and gentlemen, Adolf checks in. I don't even know how Allen got out of the hole. Put him back. Ladies and gentlemen, if Allen's going to go to the hole, we still need about 7 super chats to make it happen. But this guy, Adolf from Glenhead, wants him in the hole. Jay Luby says, Vrabel or Gruden will never work for a lame owner like Woody. I actually disagree. I think Gruden would jump at an opportunity to be back. Vrabel will have more options. If you want to hire Mike Vrabel, the only way to do it is to sit him down and say you're going to have full autonomy. And we're going to pay you a lot of money, which Woody's never been shy to do. If you want John Gruden, you get Fireman Ed in the room, and you got him.
It's Jets, Jets. I love Fireman Ed, too.
That's all it is. Ladies and gentlemen, open phone lines right now. Not a single soul is on hold. So if you want in on the conversation, if you want to talk Jets right now, this is your opportunity to be a part of it all. This is your opportunity to call in and weigh in on the state of our beloved woebegone franchise. This is your opportunity to weigh in on the fact that Bobby Midnight lost his mind yesterday, and we had to send him to the hole. Mike D's Nuts says, hole money for Allen, bozo. You know, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of rivalries amongst the Asmaniacs. I would say Mike D's Nuts versus Allen is one that does not get discussed enough about. I think it flies under the radar, Leanie.
Is this Mike D's Nuts?
You're damn right it is. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Let's go back to what happened yesterday that we talked about on the show. Aaron Rodgers, I think, basically said everything you'd want someone to say if you're on board with the idea of potentially bringing him back as the, quote, bridge quarterback for 2025.
Jets came to you and said after the season at some point, we'd love to have you back. And we're going to draft a kid pretty high, and we're going to get him in at some point during the season.
During the season?
Yeah, or, if we fell out of contention,
Oh, that's a lot of negatives there, Rich.
Well, I'm thinking of the Cousins situation with Penix, we want you back, but if we fall out of contention, we're going to go with the kid.
Totally. I mean, but there's more to that. I mean, number one, Atlanta's not out of contention, so a lot of the play is about performance. So, I think all of us, whether we got a guy behind us itching to play or not, there's, when they drafted Jordan, I felt like I was one bad stretch from being benched, and I, won MVP a couple years. So that's the way the league is. You got to prove it. You can play every single week and through stretches. So if they asked me back and they drafted a guy, I'd mentor the hell out of him if I was playing, and I'd try and play as well as I could to keep him on the bench.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear. One more from Rodgers. This was Aaron talking about playing next year.
No, I'm going to take some time after the year, unless I get released right away. But I'll still take some time whether or not I want to play. But I'll take some time to get away from it either way.
I think he's going to want to play. With the Jets, we don't necessarily know, but I think it depends on who the coach is. I think if they hire Mike Vrabel, Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. And Brian Flores, I would lean with him being a Jet. Gruden, a Jet. They hire a first-time coach. Maybe that guy would want to do it his way with his quarter. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan writes in, Mike Dees is a fraud. He wanted to make peace with me, and when I ignored, he jumped on the hate Allen train. Wow. Allen going up and in on Mike D's nuts. I never thought I'd see the day. Just kidding. Of course I knew this would happen. Unbelievable. All right, let's get to some calls. First up on our Gustbuster Umbrella hotline is Sean C. Hello, Sean.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Sean?
Oh, I was just thinking on the Aaron Rodgers thing, I think any coach that comes in and thinks, "Oh, we'll just get rid of Aaron Rodgers," we should get rid of him.
You said
because
get rid of Rodgers no matter who the coach is?
No. I'm saying any coach that that decides to get rid of Rodgers, we should get rid of him. Because we don't have a chance with any other quarterbacks. We've talked about it. You've talked about it on your shows for the last week. So that's my take on that. And then, I know we've talked about him saying that he's willing to mentor other quarterbacks that come in. And what was interesting on that documentary is not only did he mentor Jordan Love, but what's the Packers coach now? Flores, what's his name?
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur, that's right. So Matt LaFleur even said, like, hey, Rodgers, came in and helped install, more of his flavor on the offense as well. So he was in there working on the offense. Even though it was a new offense, he was helping with it as well. So I think Rodgers definitely the way to go. What are your thoughts? When I watch Breece Hall compared to Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis this year, I'm not impressed. That's how I feel when I watch Breece Hall. I actually get frustrated seeing Breece come into the lineup. Is that a bad take?
Well, I think he's playing hurt right now and shouldn't be playing in general. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I don't see why Breece Hall is playing right now when he's clearly not at 100% and the team's 4-10.
Yeah, it's really hard to watch Breece right now. I'm like, dude, get him. Like, just let Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen do their thing because they're killing it. I think. So I don't know. Maybe Brees, like you said, is hurt, but it's hard to watch Brees right now.
I'm not looking to get rid of him, though. I still think a coaching staff that has a clue could understand how to use him. I mean, how often do they target Brees Hall in the passing game? Like, there should be design plays for him. And they were doing it in
Absolutely.
training camp over the summer, and it's infuriating. I barely have seen it this year. When was the last time Brees was, like, targeted on a real, like, design pass pattern? Like, week 2 against the Titans when he caught that awesome
I think when he
touchdown?
got that touchdown, yeah, that was it. And then they didn't do it again. It's like, yo, get this guy some open field. Let him beat some guys. No doubt, no doubt.
So I think that's part of it, right? I think a real offensive staff that understands how to use their players could find a role where Brees could be a total game changer. You don't just use him as a runner. You use him like Le'Veon Bell in his prime in Pittsburgh. You use him like McCaffrey. I just don't think they do enough to maximize the talent like Brees that they have on this team.
No doubt. I agree. So, well, that's all I got for you, sir. I appreciate you.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sean. Great call. Call back anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike D's Nuts has responded to Allen. Your villain shtick is actually cringy and corny, but that's what people do on the internet. Mike D's Nuts says, it's cool, Allen. I try to be a nice guy and look past things, but it is what it is. I never liked your lame ass from day one. Drama. Mike D's Nuts versus Allen Asshole. Incredible. Rick writes in, Allen, congrats on being the human embodiment of a comment section no one asked for. Strong takes this morning, folks. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. There is no wait time right now. So if you want in, best chance to do it. I'll stay on a little while longer if we get some calls here. Please hit the like button if you haven't. And reminder to check out all the merch from jakeasman.com for the holiday season here. Patreon users, 15% off every item in the store. So please check that out if you're interested. Super chat here from the Hennessy Heisman. Vrabel and Milrow 2025. Sit and learn year one. If they took Milrow, he better be sitting year one because he's raw. You watch him, you see the talent, but it's something that's got to be developed. Hennessy says, remember when Allen was boycotting the show? Great times. He couldn't help himself, though. He needs the show. He needs it more than we all need air. Allen is addicted to the show. He couldn't stay away. He wakes up every day and goes, oh, man, I need the Jake Asman show to get me through the day. And sure enough, he was right. He does need it. He needs it more than Gary needs butter. That's a fact. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello right now to Zach Johnson. Hello, Zach.
Yo, what's up, Jake? How you doing?
Zach, I'm doing well. Have we heard from you really since the game day experience with JJ?
No. It's been a rough season for me, man. I'm so burnt out, bro. I wanted to ask you a question on how you felt about Garrett Wilson's response to him getting an extension and him saying, I don't know, or
yeah, he sounded like a guy who like didn't want to like say the wrong thing, and he's like trying to keep. But like, here's the thing, right? Here's the dirty little secret, and I love Garrett. He could request a trade all he wants. Why would the Jets trade him? It's under contract for 2 more years plus the franchise tag. Like, I think I think a new GM will come and evaluate the roster and offer him an extension, and which he will take because players take the money, especially in this sport. But I feel like it's just way too premature to talk about any trade with Garrett when we don't know who the coach and GM is yet or the quarterback next year. You know, I'm not saying he won't request a trade, but just because you request a trade doesn't mean he's gone. We've seen how many guys over the last few years request a trade and how many of them have actually been traded, you know? Remember, Budda Baker requested a trade. He just got extended the other day. You know, that's the latest example at the safety spot with the Cardinals. But I go back to Brandon Ayuk and Jamar Chase, and like ultimately these guys stay with the teams they're on. I think the Jets would be nuts to trade them.
All right, Jake, that's all I had. It's been a rough season, but I'm still in here and I'm still in the chat, still hanging out. So I'll definitely be in the comments, my friend.
Zach, I appreciate it, man. Great call. Great call. Appreciate everyone still watching, everyone who doesn't call or chat. I know you're out there. That's 98% of the show. Kick out the Jams Joe. I shared this link to so many friends this morning, imploring them to watch. Lightyear's better than anything on ESPN/WFAN. Thank you, Kick out. I'll tell you what, though. All right? You can hear me on ESPN New York this Sunday from 4 to 8 p.m. You talk about a day that I have Sunday, watching the Jets 1 to 4, hopping on the radio for 4 straight hours talking about the game, and then on YouTube right after that from 8 to probably 10 p.m. So Sunday's going to be a bear. But I'm going to be locked in. I'm going to be bricked up. Brick Johnson style, folks. All right. I'm going to play some Madden with Woody before, get my mind right, and let's go.
Let's get bricked up.
I'll be ready to roll. 4 to 8, ESPN New York. And then I won't be sleeping much the next 2 weeks. Starting Tuesday, you'll hear me every day for 2 weeks straight, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm filling in on our morning show solo. Rick DiPietro, Dave Rothenberg on vacation. Yours truly. 6A to 10A. So get ready, folks. Going to need all the Asmaniacs to call in. King Lowski writes in, bring back Allen in a wig. That was his happy place. It's a great take. Nick Shine says, Tom Ace loves this show like I used to love cake. Well, you still love cake. It's just a different kind of cake, you dog. Tom Ace says, I love the Jake Asman show like a fat kid loves cake. You know, some of the people who watch the show are like a fat girl playing dodgeball. In and they're out, baby. But some people are here for the long haul. And for those people, we appreciate it. Zach Johnson says, Jake, I forgot to say Allen is a toxin to the chat. Tough to argue with that, right? Rick Kent says, I love cake, but I don't eat it. Rick Kent, you dog. Hey, Philly Noodles, he's up next on our show today. What's up, Philly?
Not much. Long haul caller here. Fat guy who loves cake.
Yeah, I love cake too, man.
Dude, my fiance just baked she baked off some peppermint hot cocoa cupcakes for her job for her boss to send to a party. She masquerades and says I made it. But when she gets to the party, even though my fiance made it, but you gotta capitalize. You gotta make that money. She made that money on the side.
That's why they call you Philly Noodles, baby. You're one of one.
One of one, baby. Yeah, I actually get that because my last name is Roman. And I had friends and they were like, oh, you mean like ramen? I'm like, no, Roman, like Roman numerals. And they're like, no, it's ramen. So it was over. I was just ramen noodles, Philly noodles forever. But anyway, so I love our takes. I love our banter with everybody. Ted Yu, he's had me going for the past few.
Ted University is unreal, man. He had an all-time day. Ted being the reason why Bobby Midnight tried to turn on these. Truly a stunning
takeaway. Buttergate. Hashtag Buttergate. That's
crazy.
Listen, that's it. In the end, I just found this in my job. I went to a different cubicle here just to sit down. That's what it is. Just don't be a jerk. Love each other. Hate our takes with each other, but don't be a jerk. I think there's nothing greater than Fireman Ed's passion to hating sports reporters and their bets. Bro, he was like, I thought he was gonna like jump through the iPad and grab you and be like, "Why, Jake? Why?"
I love when he talks about putting the beat reporters in an outhouse. It's so funny.
I'm like, bro, this guy's going in right now, man. I mean, I love it. I love it. The John Gruden thing, it's like, I get it, everybody, but no, just it's okay. It's like Rex. It's okay to have that guy in the background saying, "I'll do it again." But we need, fresher blood, and Vrabel's won before, and if not him, get us anybody who's, with some experience that's won. Flores. You just can't bring in a rookie again. No rookie head coach, please. Dear God.
Look, please, I implore Woody Johnson to hire people that have been a GM and a head coach before. I prefer Vrabel. If you told me they hired Flores, I'm good with that. I am tired of first-timers getting eaten alive when they face you, because there will be adversity. The Jets fold when they deal with adversity. This previous regime, it was going great. Then they got punched in the mouth. They lose 6 in a row after they were 7-4 to end the season in 22. They get punched in the mouth to Rodgers. Joe Douglas moped around. and did absolutely nothing to try and save the season. This year, Greg Zuerlein, nothing. Like, this team does not respond to adversity. They need to bring in people that have dealt with issues and have overcome it. Thomas Dimitrov. Hey, what's a moment you dealt with adversity? How'd you overcome it? He could talk about how he was the GM of the team that blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. How'd you overcome that? What have you learned from that? How do you get, like, Mike Vrabel? Hey, you got fired, man. What happened? What did you learn from that experience? Well, I learned I need to surround myself with people that align with my vision. I need to have a relationship with the GM I'm working. Like, please, for the love of God, Brian Flores, what did you learn about what happened in Miami? I got to coach players sometimes differently. I need to, be better with a young quarterback if that's the direction we go in. But, people learn and get better with experience. I was not a good talk show host when I was on the radio as a 9th grader at Syosset High School. I sucked, but I got better. Like, you get better with experience, bringing people with experience.
Where's that rookie card? We need that rookie 9th grade card with no Jake Asman, copper tone, whatever beard, Copper John. You know what I mean? No bearded Jake takes. That's some.
When I was a young whippersnapper.
Hey, you know what? I don't like the takes that people say, "Oh, if Vrabel, why isn't he a coach right now?" Sometimes you got to sit out a cycle to see what's available. You know what I mean? Because now you can walk into a team where if everybody wants AR back, okay, you get Aaron Rodgers back. You get two stud receivers. You get a better O-line that's now compensated with each other for a year. They've grown together. And it's like, just let it be, just let it go. And later on, I'm going to have, I guess, the new bricked up brick at home. I got to tape a new picture to my brick, with your new bricked up.
You got to get bricked up, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right, dude. I'll see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Philly Noodles checking in. Tom Ace writes in, I would love it if they ask a typical interview question in these interviews. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, given your history, Woody, probably fired but very rich. Now, that would be a great answer. You think that candidate gets the job? Hey, John Robinson, where do you see yourself in 5 years? A lot richer but unemployed. Addison says, shout out to whatever Rick Kent shouts out. Rick Kent shouted out Syosset, baby. Go Braves. Kick out James Joe. Christmas wish for 2025. Jets actually having a productive tight end who could put up top 10 numbers. The last explosive tight end was Johnny Mitchell against Miami during the fake spike game in 94. I mean, I would say this. The Jets' history at tight end recently is obviously not good, but Dustin Keller was a pretty good Jet. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert is in the house. Who is Robert? That's Rob from Glenhead. And immediately, Jay tosses a tomato at him. Rob, call in. The chat is out for blood against you this morning. And we got to bring you on, and we got to set the record straight. Rick Kent says, I end interviews if someone asks me that stupid question. Interesting. Jay Graves throwing a tomato at Rob. Rick Kent throwing a tomato at Rob. Rob, I think you got to call in. We got to get the chat to believe in you again. Tom A says, I would lie and say on my way to the Hall of Fame with 5 Super Bowls for the NYJ. There's lying, and then there's what Tom Ace is capable of pulling off. Well done. Purple Belt Mike wants to know, why are we throwing tomatoes? Tommy says, I feel like Rob is literally always getting grilled for something. Rick Kent says, Rob has to wait for more calls so we can recap them. Wow. Rich says, hit the like. Purple Belt Mike says, Rob is my guy. I have Rob's back. Look, I'll tell you what. I'm sensing a deep disturbance here. Dave Brigger says, Rob just had a hiccup. Now, I do have a couple questions for Rob that I do believe need to be addressed. And you guys know Rob from Glenhead, big part of what we do here. Here's the question I have. What's the backstory behind this moment from yesterday?
Women.
Who is the women? Or who are the women Rob is referring to?
Women.
No one seems to know. Sushi King, Rob is the best caller. I'll take some comments on what you guys believe Rob is referring to here. Tommy says, Rob the ladies man, you can't expect him to keep track. That is true. We do know Rob is a ladies man. Addison says, finally he got the intro he was thirsting for.
Women.
Purple Belt Mike, Rob is slaying dragons like it's Game of Thrones. Nate says, was he on Craigslist classified when searching for women? Tom Ace writes in, phrase your answer in Jeopardy style. What is pains in my ass? Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now to address these comments and potential concerns from the audience is
Women.
Hello, Rob.
Good morning, all. I'm here, ready to take my coming uppums.
What are your thoughts on every time you call in, Rob, the tomatoes are flowing at you?
That's okay. I mean, I'll take the tomatoes. If that's what people feel that I deserve, then I said a dumb comment and I'm standing by my apology. I mean, people want to keep throwing tomatoes. I guess they have the right. I'm not going to lash back. Don't put me on the screen to answer anyone because it seems to make things worse between you and I, Jake. And I kind of heard the Nick Shine show the other day. Last night. So I heard everything that you guys said and stuff, but you guys have a right to your opinion. You know, I'm not what people portray me to be.
I don't think you are either, Rob. I know you personally.
You know, again, all I can do is apologize, but if people want to keep throwing tomatoes, they have every right. I'm not going to dispute them. I'm not going to yell at them or come after them or nothing. I kind of deserve what I got and, just move forward.
Nate says you're Italian. You have no issues with tomatoes.
No, I like tomatoes.
Me too.
Tomatoes make good sauce. But, they can throw the tomatoes at me. That's fine. I mean, everyone makes a mistake. I mean, people need to really check themselves and look in the mirror. People say incorrect things all the time. I owned up to it. I came on. I apologize. That's true, Jake.
Absolutely.
I love the Asmaniacs. I love coming on. Obviously casting my opinion or my 2 cents. Sometimes it's wrong. If they want to keep throwing tomatoes, just keep throwing. I have nothing against you guys. I love all you guys on the chat. But
have you seen what Alan has said about you?
Well, I don't really care what that idiot says.
He keeps taking shot after shot at you.
What did he say?
He calls you a moron, a racist, all these different things.
Of course, he's jumping on the bandwagon. The guy should talk. I mean, the guy who gets supported by his wife. I mean, guy doesn't even work or nothing. And constantly they're throwing him in the hole, let's be honest.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but we have put a bounty on Alan as usual. F tomatoes, here's some rocks. And we're up to 10 of the possible 15 super chats we need to send Alan to the hole for the rest of the show.
I hope so. They might be sending me to the hole soon the way things are going, I think, Jake.
Well, there's no bounty on you right now, Rob. No one has put a price on you.
And who are these people making these aliases of me? I have an issue with this guy, Adolf from Glen Head all of a sudden, or this guy, Native New Yorker. Shout out to Nick Shine. These are not me trolling or anything. I barely know how to do my own stupid sign in with the thing. I'm not that computer illiterate is what I'm trying to say. So it's definitely not me. I mean, you could think that, but it's not me. But again, I mean, I just trying to, do the right thing, Jake, and come online, not hide and say, everyone's throwing tomatoes at me and I'm never going on Jake's show ever again. They got their way if they want me not to call in anymore.
You can't feed into cancel culture. There's no way.
you know, if that's what you guys want, then I won't call it anymore. But you know, I do truly love this.
No,
as
you have to keep calling. You cannot let the tomato throwers win, Rob.
You know, I mean, I think you know me, Jake, for a while and stuff. I'm not this terrible guy, but you know, that's what people think. You know, I can't do anything about it other than just to, you know, still come on the chat, make my opinions, and you know, do the right
Keep giving
thing.
takes, Rob. I support you. You know, the tomato throwers can throw their tomatoes, but you know what? At the end of the day, you have every right to call in and be a part of the show.
And that's all. I just wanted to, you know, prove to people that I wasn't going to run and hide, even though people are throwing tomatoes. I do have a good portion of people that, you know, forgive me and are on my side. And at the end of the day, Jake, I think you know my character. You've known him for a while. I'm not this terrible person like people think. But, you know, I guess I deserve the tomatoes. They can chuck the tomatoes at me. I did say a stupid comment, and I stand by that I effed up. And that's fine. You guys can throw the tomatoes. I'm not going to retaliate. What?
Let me ask you this, all right? We got to address the real reason why many people wanted to hear from you. Who are you referring to in this clip?
Women. Probably about someone in particular that I was talking to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm probably not going to get into it because I got my daughter upstairs, and that's where like big fella is, right? You don't like, you know, put your dirty laundry on the chat and stuff. You know, I'm not going to do that anymore and stuff. It's probably not a good idea because then you get like, you know, some people patting you in the back. Then you got people like ripping you out a new a-hole about it. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm probably better off not even discussing it. Who's this idiot? Oh, of course, Alan, of course. But Alan, too, he's a jackass. I mean, you know, he's yelling at poor BMAC and stuff because the guy wants to call in. Come on, leave the guy alone. He has a right. I mean, Alan supposedly is a real Jet fan, he claims, but yet he talks about Detroit, and now Josh Allen is his new love toy. You know, come on. He should talk. Leave BMAC alone. BMAC's a good dude. But, you know, Jake, again, I just wanted to call in and, you know, again, I mean, if people want to put me in the hole, I'll take my coming up, and so you can put me in the hole. No problem. I'll do my prison sentence. No problem.
I'm not putting you in the hole. There's no bounty on you, Rob. If someone makes an offer, we'll weigh the options here, but that's what we do for everyone.
Jake, you know what? Everyone says dumb things in life. I'm sure you have. I'm sure Nick Shine has. I'm sure Addison has. I'm sure Jay Graves has. Everyone, especially myself. But you know what? That these people are like beyond forgiveness for you saying one bad comment is not right. But you know what? It's okay. I'll take my penance. You know, people can keep ragging on me for a while. It's up to them. I mean, you know, if they want to boycott me and they don't want me to come, I won't call in anymore. But you know, again, it's your show, Jake. The kind of decision's up to you. You know, I like to call and have my takes and stuff. And people want to just rag on me, then I'll take it. No problem.
Peter Castro writes in, Rob from Glenhead is a great person and a great patriot, loved in his community.
Thank you, Peter. Peter's a good dude. I mean, you know, he speaks the truth. I mean, but you know, it's up to people to believe. If they don't want to believe, then I'm kind of tired of coming on and apologizing. And so many times you could do that, Jake. I mean, and you saw, I mean, you have to admit, I've come on. You told me to call in right now. I could have boycotted for 2 or 3 weeks not calling. And I didn't. I said, you know what, Rob, man up and call Jake. And I did. You told me to call and I called. What is this idiot Alan saying? Read that to me, Jake. I don't have my glasses. Sorry, buddy.
Alan writes in, when I get on a clear phone, I have to give Rob some valuable advice because the last few days he has acted like a buffoon.
Okay. What's his excuse for acting like a buffoon every day? Is my
Got
question.
him. Take that, Alan. You bum.
I had one bad day, Alan. You've had every single day is a bad day for you, buddy. So, you know, I admit I had a bad day that day. I was dumb for what I said. What's your excuse, buddy?
Oh my God. I don't know, Rob. I think the rivalry that you have with Alan I mean, I think it's reached new heights this week. I really do.
And I wanted to clear the air with Nick Shine too. If he's there, I mean, you could bring him on. I would love to clear the air with him. I don't want no, miss hard feelings with him.
Nick Shine, call in if you're available. We'll bring you on.
If he's there, I'd like to discuss with Nick Shine. I like Nick Shine. I think his content is real good. And it's not me buttering him up, but, he seemed to have like a big issue with me also saying.
Did you say butter?
He had said to ban me for life because I was reading some of the things he said. But, if he wants to talk it out with me, I'm here. I'm not hiding or anything,
Tommy writes in, the Jet season's over where we spent like 20 minutes addressing the caller controversy.
That's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. We can do a lot better than this, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the line right now to have a face-to-face conversation with Rob, the Jet fan from Glenhead, is the aforementioned Nick Shine. Hello, Nick.
Hey, how we doing? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Rob, I think the biggest problem is the comments from Friday with how you addressed Jaden. And
I apologized.
But that doesn't mean everyone forgets and forgives.
Okay.
You have to understand that. You have to respect that. If you put takes out there, it might rub people the wrong way. You've mentioned Alan multiple times with how you don't like his takes. Now you have to sit in the same boat and realize that people might not like the ones that you did. Jaden, who is a friend of mine, is a great, hardworking young man. And to have the takes that you threw at him, which don't need repeating, you could have challenged his age. You could have challenged immaturity. You could have challenged him being
I could have called him a
You could have
knucklehead.
challenged any of those things.
You're right.
You chose to go where you went. And that is a really, really bad look.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So
But
you
now,
have
can
to
I say one thing?
understand now, after doing that, you can come on and say, I'm sorry. But that doesn't mean everyone has to forgive once you admit fault.
Fair enough.
But that's part of coming on and having a show. Like if Jake or I put a take out there, people throwing back at us.
That's fine.
You threw a pretty wild take out there. So you have to eat the butter.
Now, can I push back a little with this, Nick? You saying ban Rob for life, is that fair on your part? Have you ever?
Oh no, that was complete trolling because we were talking about banning people from the show. That was just a complete troll comment, man. Don't read too far into that. Not every comment is literal.
Okay, so the native New Yorker where you said I was trolling you is BS because I barely know how to.
Rob, you were on air. You were on air at the time. It couldn't have been you. You were on air.
Right. So it was not me. And then even last night at your show, which I watched your show last night, all of it, when you guys were taking shots at me. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I deserve it. Where, Weed was laughing at me and you guys were kicking back jokes at me and stuff like that. These people now, all of a sudden, Adolf and native New Yorker and stuff are using Glenhead, obviously to make me look worse, is also not really fair that they're doing that crap. I owned up in the sense.
Wait. Hold on one second. Can I address that before you move on?
Yeah.
Again, when you call into the shows, we addressed it with Bobby last night. Bobby's getting upset because he doesn't like some of the videos of him. When you call into the shows, you put yourself out there to be critiqued, to be ridiculed.
I'll get critiqued.
With the territory.
That's fine.
It comes with the territory. If you want to be out there and you want to call in and you want to be a
I
character, you have to accept the circumstances that come with it.
I will. But again, I didn't know that you got trolled. When I see something from Nick Shine, who knows better, to say, ban Rob for life, that's bothersome to me.
No, I asked how much was the bounty. That's what I asked.
Okay.
I was like, how much for a ban for life bounty? That's all. Because we were doing bounties on the show. Not everything I say is attacking. I have a pretty good sense of humor, I think.
Yeah, you
Sorry
do.
if I read it the wrong way.
It shocked me. You do. So what you're saying is you would pay off on a lifetime ban. You don't want me to call ever. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I just asked in jest what would the number be. That's all I asked.
I'm just asking. Just asking, because I don't think what I did is a lifetime ban. I mean, I effed up.
Again, you're focused on the wrong thing. You're focused on the wrong thing. I said it was a joke. I said it was in jest, and you can let that one go. I think choosing the words more wisely and
absolutely
is more of the focus.
Absolutely, I totally agree. I don't deny that. People
and Nate, go screw yourself, Nate. I'm 46. I know I get grayer by the day having you as a friend, Nate, but I'm only 46, you bastard.
Nick, people can throw the tomatoes. I'll take the tomatoes. It's fine. It's fine. I deserve it. No problem.
And people are throwing butter at Bobby. It's part of Jake's world.
It's all
just.
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
I missed it. I think you were talking when the mic was still muted.
I said, are we good, or is anything else?
I don't know what good is. I mean, I don't want to see that stuff. That's all. I don't want to see that stuff. I'm not leading any charge against you. There are a lot of people who are upset, and a lot of people, I said, I consider Jaden a good friend. He jokingly has called me dad because how old I am and how young he is. So I love the kid, and I'm not going to let anyone disparage or go at Jaden. That's just me and my friendship where we are. So I don't know what good is, but I just hope not to see that shit anymore, to be completely honest.
I agree.
Respectfully, really bad luck when that happened. So you got to eat some tomatoes with it, I guess.
I'll eat them. No problem.
All right, Jake, I'm on my way to work. I'm about to get on the main road. Safety first.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Nick, I'm glad we at least talked it out.
Yeah, just you got to you just got to watch what you say, man. It's the world we live in.
I just don't.
When you put your takes out there, you gotta know that backlash can come from it.
No, I know. I just don't want to be.
I can't even be mentioned without the number 9 being attached to me anymore. So the information you put out there in the world comes back at you, especially in this community.
That's for sure.
All right, Jake. Thank you for coming on last night. Thank you for hanging out, and you're the man, Jake.
Women. Jake loves that. Well, that's it. I mean, I just wanted to call in and just, straighten out the record and, from yesterday. And again, people can throw the tomatoes. I'm okay with it. I guess I deserve it. But we'll leave it at that and just keep it purely Jet content.
Rob, I appreciate you hopping on. And just so you know, we threw up a poll. Do you accept Rob from Glenhead's apology? 73% say yes. So I feel like 73%. The silent majority seemingly is on your side, Rob.
I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. And again, I mean, you could cast the tomatoes for now. I deserve it. I guess I'll make some sauce with it. I do like tomatoes. There's 3 siblings.
When 3 siblings throws you tomatoes, you make sauce with it.
I'll
They've
make
been saying
sauce
that for years.
That's all I can do, 3 siblings. But, my bad. That's all I can say. But,
there is a super chat here from Big Fellow who says, Rob, they are virtual tomatoes. Don't let it bother you. My advice would be to just watch your words. The word lynch yesterday was not a good choice.
No, it wasn't used in that content. I used it 100% solely on myself. Like I was saying, to do that to me, obviously. It was, I get it. It kind of went over my head when I first wrote it down. But honestly, I meant it towards me, of course.
Jaden says, I believe he's genuine. So we could drop it now, everyone.
Thank you, Jaden.
There you go.
I appreciate you, dude. And we got into a bad start. My apologies. I have absolutely nothing against you. You seem to be a good guy.
Rob, hang in there, man. It's all good.
Thank you. Thank you for a few minutes, Jake. I appreciate
Rob,
it.
You're the man. Hang in there. Everyone calm down. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you just tuned in. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line on this show. Let's Rex Ryan, I see your super chat. I probably shouldn't read it, but I do see it. I'll leave it at that. Sam Aiken just gifted a 5 spot of channel memberships.
Women.
I can't. Ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 people just became channel members thanks to Sam. He's got 5 raffle tickets with his name coming his way in the bucket of champions. A&J Gaming, Christian A, Kevin Tattoos, Isaiah Russell, all receiving a channel membership, as did M. Guz, who got a membership too. All right, last chance to get in here. Gary B is up next. What's up, Gary?
Hey, what's up, Jake? I just want to say, love what you're doing with the channel. You got the drama. You got the Food Network with V-Man I saw the other day. And you got Biggest Loser featuring Bobby. So it's just like some great content, man. On top of all the Jet stuff, of course.
You know, you have to be creative when you're talking about a 4-10 team every day.
Of course. But on the Jet front, I don't know how much you talked about the documentary. I don't know if you've done a featured episode. I try to catch as much as I can. But the one thing I noticed, I just finished it last night, and I guess the way he ended it, it's like talking about like more personal goals instead of being like so focused on winning, which I know he is and everything. But like you can really tell, like it made a lot of sense when he's talking about like the 17 game season that he wants to complete and everything. And like you can really tell that's what's driving him to do it. Like that's clearly his goal is to just finish 17 games. Not saying that winning isn't a priority, but maybe he was hurt toward the beginning of the season, which I think the last time I called was when we were heading to the London Vikings game, and then was banged up shortly after that, and then didn't look great until the second game after the bye. So like, I don't know, just seeing him healthy like gives you a lot of confidence. Like if he were to be a quarterback, coming back on the right deal. But then like at the same time, you watch that, and then you see Cousins being benched, like coming off the same injury. Like, you know, look back to all the other people that have Achilles injuries and not necessarily quarterbacks, but it's rarely like the same the following year that they're back to normal. So I know there's age, I know there's a lot of other variables there, but just wanted your 2 cents on maybe the comments they made there. And there's been a lot of athletic reports and Garrett Wilson and things like that. But anything on that, I'll get off the air with that.
Yeah, I think you understand why Aaron definitely wants to play all 17. So, but like, here's the thing: beyond next year, I feel like beyond this year, I should say, there's just so much of an unknown if he's here next year. I think he still wants to play, though, Gary. I do. I don't think he wants to go out this way. That doesn't seem like his personality. Just
yeah, because he keeps like you look back at the commentary and he's still kind of saying it. He's always said like, 2 to 3 years, yep. And you know that would take it out through next year. So
100%. Yeah, I mean, look. I think in the right scenario, it makes sense to bring him back. We got to see how these next 3 games go, though. I think that's a huge part of all this.
Yep.
Gary, great
call. I'll call in it.
And did I ask you last time you called in for your stance on butter?
Oh, dude. Okay. I was trying to call in when you brought it up because I am into nutrition and things. Mm-hmm. And what my fellow Gary was saying was just such nonsense. I mean, first off, fat is eight calories per gram, right? Protein and carbs are 4. Your body, everything. It's thermodynamics, right? It's calories in, calories out. You can say you don't believe in calories. I can go on a nutrition rant, but it's calories. Period. Like, so please don't eat sticks of butter. That's all I'll say.
So you would say that Bobby is jeopardizing his health by eating 7 butter sticks a day on his diet?
I would say. I mean, again, there's studies. There's a scientist that was like, I'm just going to eat Doritos and just stay under my maintenance calories or below my maintenance calories and see if I lose weight. And he lost weight. Like, you're going to be starving if you just eat like whatever your daily calories and butter. But no, I mean, sure, it has nutrients and things like Sabo was saying, like, okay, animal proteins and things like that. But yeah, don't eat 7 sticks of butter. Not recommended.
Gary, great call, and hopefully Bobby Midnight, wherever he might be, will take those comments to heart. We can only hope, folks. We can only hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we put a bounty on Alan as we normally do these last couple days before the show started. It was 15 super chats of any kind, any price point to immediately send him to the hole for the remainder of the show. It did take longer than I thought it would take, but ladies and gentlemen, Alan, with the power of the Asmaniacs coming through and me being the one to send in the 15th and final super chat required to send you there, it is my honor and it is really a privilege to be able to do this.
Now look what you've done, Alan. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
See ya. Super chat from the great Rick Kent. Between last night and today, Jake will be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Hashtag Go IC Bombers. Rick, we're just trying to bring everyone together here. All right? Besides Alan. We're just trying to bring everybody together. It's the holiday season. All right? We want everyone singing like Bobby sang on this day.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I'll tell you, the only thing better than a Nobel Peace Prize is a Knoebel Peace Prize. I think I called it a Nobel Peace Prize. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to the Hamburger for our final call of the first show today. Hamburger, what do you got?
What's up, Jake? How you doing, man?
I'm living the dream, Hamburger. The Jets are 4-10. It's magic.
Yeah, that it is. I'm glad I missed the butter talk while I was in physical therapy, but I'll have to backtrack and listen. It's funny, I got a call from the Jets yesterday, and I didn't bring it up. It was towards the end of the day, but he wanted to know if I wanted to purchase season tickets. And Jet Fireman, Jet Fireman Ed. I kind of laid into the guy a little bit. He was kind of caught off guard. I did definitely lay into him about Fireman Ed and the other guys not being shown, bringing my kid there, and my kid was asking about it. I said it was a real slap in the face to us fans that we can't do our Jet chant. I said something that's been in our history forever now. And he's like, yeah, we caught a lot of slack for that. We realize that a lot of fans are unhappy. So I think the message is getting out there to them, whether or not they listen. But I don't know, man. I don't know. But I gave him some shit, and I told him, sorry, I'm buying Mets tickets this year. I had an opportunity to make my wife allow me to buy Jets tickets instead of Mets tickets. But with the season that you guys put out there, sorry, we're going to go back to the Mets. So he was upset about it, but it is what it is.
I mean, what's their argument for you to renew your tickets? You don't know who the coach is. You don't know who the GM is.
Yeah,
you don't know who the quarterback is. What are they selling? What are they selling?
They're not. He didn't give me any. He didn't offer me anything really. He's like, oh, but if you only do, single games, we can get them to you cheaper. I said, you're going to get them cheaper to me than $25 right now, or $20 if I want to take all my kids for like $15 a piece to get in the building. I said, it's not worth it for me to sign up for anything. I said, so I don't know what's going on next year. We don't even know who the quarterback is. I said, so for me, it's a no, and it's a hard no. So, but listen, man, I'm pumped for this weekend. I'm hoping Aaron throws a good game. I'm hoping Garrett gets out there and throws a good game, and makes some good catches. I'm all about the win this weekend, man. I'm all about the win. So I have you're going to be on later, right?
I will be on at 4 p.m. today, Eastern.
All right, if I get a chance, I have a little Christmas carol to not sing, but a night before Jetsmas, so that I have put away. I was going to read it, so maybe I'll read it later on.
I love it. I have something from Boomtown that I've been saving too. He wrote a poem that I'll eventually share. So we got a lot cooking up for the holiday season on the show.
Yeah, I got the whole beard and the whole Santa Claus thing. It ain't gonna look that good, but
I love it. That's great.
Yep. Well, listen, guys. Everybody, enjoy your mid-afternoon. Get some lunch, and I'll see you guys later. I appreciate it, Jake. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for doing the show, man. It's great godsend while my ankle hurts.
The great Hamburger. Check it in. I appreciate you, Hamburger. Look, I would say one of the hardest jobs in America right now is trying to be a Jet season ticket seller, a Jet account manager. What are you selling right now to this fan base? Hey, be a season ticket holder next year. We don't know who the quarterback is. We don't know who the coach is. We don't know who the GM is. And our owner is being smeared through the media for allegedly having his sons involved and meddling. And the whole perception of the organization is that it's a joke right now. Now, if Woody hires a real coach, like if you tell me Mike Vrabel's the coach, I think a lot of fans probably would renew. They'd be like, okay, at least you feel comfortable with our leadership for now. But that hasn't happened yet, so I don't know why anyone would renew. The Jets haven't given you a reason to renew. Now, if you renew, you have every right to do it. You're a fan. I'm not going to tell people how to be a fan. If you like going to the games, tailgating, I totally get that. But for those of you who are on the fence, what's the reason to renew right now? They haven't given you a reason. They're 4-10. So I totally understand. Bo writes in, honestly, Woody's getting a ton of press, making him more relevant than he actually should be. Maybe make some right choices so we could celebrate you. Yeah, look, yeah, I think Woody's going to wake up from this. I think this is an eye-opening experience for him. And we'll see based on who he hires. But if I'm Woody, stop hiring first-timers, man. Are you hiring first-timers so you could basically walk over them? Hire someone with experience that could push back on any nonsense. It's enough of the losing. Enough of the guys who come here, they talk a big game. Oh, we're keeping receipts. Oh, we're going to turn it around. And then they get eaten alive when they face adversity. Eaten alive. They eat more than prime Bobby Midnight before the diet. Like that is what can't happen here. NYC writes in, ESPN New York Radio dropped the ball by not having you on their new fall schedule. So that's just the new lineup in general, NYC. It starts January 6th. I can tell you, though, that you'll still be able to hear me at least once a week, seemingly, on the station going forward. And then, now that there's 4 local shows, when people are off, hopefully there's more opportunities. But I appreciate it. I'd love to be full-time there, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm on this Sunday from 4 to 8, and then 2 straight weeks, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So you're going to get a lot of me. I'm doing like 11 radio shows in 13 days. Plus, still going to continue with this YouTube show. So we're going to do at least 1 YouTube show a day, maybe not 2 a day. But we'll definitely have at least 1. Ian says, too bad Garrett wants out of the Jets organization. Yeah, he can want out. Guess what? Tough shit. Under contract for 2 more years. So everyone relax. Ultimately, you know what they could do? Extend him, and he'll take the money. And I don't even know if Garrett's definitely requesting a trade yet. I think everyone's got to take a breath. Let's see who the coach is, the GM is. Go from there. What the plan is at quarterback. Big fella says the Jets don't even give season ticket holders a decent thank you for buying tickets. 1 step above McDonald's gift cards. I agree. Jay wants to know what time is the Jake Asman football show. With Cole today, it'll be at 2 p.m. Tom says this is Jake's Super Bowl the next 2 weeks. Monster works, guy. Tom, you couldn't be more right. It's gonna be nuts. No matter how many times you do a morning shift, you're never the same. It just your energy's just zapped. Gray says, is Bobby still banned? No, Bobby was only in the hole for a day. He's not banned. But he's not calling the show today. Now, he said yesterday, if he doesn't call in, don't say I'm boycotting the show, but I don't know, folks. We usually hear from Bobby Midnight on Fridays. And we know he hates Boy Green, so he's not going to call the second show, at least when Boy Green's on. Ian says, must be depressing being a Jet fan, to be honest. Well, who's your team you root for? But yeah, I would say being a Jet fan is not fun. M. Morris says, Bobby's boycotting. Hennessy says, good, Bobby needs to stay away. Big fella, is there another show today? There's actually 2 more shows. 2 p.m. and then 4 p.m. 2 p.m. is the football show. 4 p.m. Jet show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. Reminder, we're available on Apple and Spotify if you wanted the audio version of the program. It's posted after the YouTube show is done being live. Thank you all for watching. One last reminder, if anyone has tickets for Jets Rams they're not using, I have a bunch of people who need tickets, want to take their kid to a game, normally can't afford to go. I want to donate these tickets to families or veterans. I want to try and do something nice for people around the holiday season. So if you saw the weather and said, I don't want to sit out in the cold in 15 degrees to watch the Jets, I get it. But there's people who do. So if you have extra tickets and you want them to be donated to the people who could use them, asmanjake@gmail.com is the best way to pay it forward. And as we've done now for 3 years in a row, we will send them to people who can use them. So that should be a lot of fun. Thank you all for your support, as always. This community is unrivaled by any show out there in any sport or any form of media. So thank you all for that. Can't say it enough. We're back with the football show at 2, the Jet show at 4. I hope everybody has a tremendous, tremendous Friday. Enjoy the lunch hour. I will talk to you guys soon. JETS, 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 Jets.
Gator, I need an intro, buddy. A cool intro, please.
Gator did write in something, though. Searching for an angle for you, Rob. Need you to be a little more off the rails.
I can get off the rail if he wants. Gator, give me an intro. I need an intro, Gator. Don't let me go looking for you. Do you want some of this? How's that, Gator?
That might work, Rob. There might be something there. I'm not going to tell Gator how to do his job. That's like telling Picasso how to paint. Gator wrote he just shit himself, so you got that, Rob. Maybe you'll have an intro. I don't know.
Maybe Gator will make you an open if you weren't so cheap with your super chats.
All right, fine. Here, how do you go? Because this is what it's all about, right? Mother effing goddamn super chats.
Right now, what I need to have happen, Charles, I need you to put on the Gorman tank. It's Friday. The vibes are high. Put on the Charles Gorman-inspired Jake Asman Show tank top for the people.
I will maybe next week.
What? Put it on. Put it on. Oh, my God, he's doing it.
Football is back, bitches.
Give us one more spin around, all right?
Give us the full modeling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the ass. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Charles, would you like to respond to Gator? He says you look like you combed your hair with a pack of firecrackers. How come you didn't congratulate him?
I did on the baby. Yeah, he had a.
You didn't say this, though.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
Congrats on the sex. Oh, my God.
Yeah, how do you think babies are made?
No, it's funny. True story. When I was a kid, I actually thought I came from a stork. I shit you not, man. Like, you know, when you have all these dreams and shit, it's like, you know, here you go, here's your baby. That's what I thought happened to me when I was a kid.
So to be clear, you were not acquired via stork, right?
Yes, I was biologically made by my mother and father.
Dennis Gorman?
And my mother, Roseanne.
Shout out to them. They did a great job with you, Charles.
Was it sweet and passionate, or are you unaware of those details?
Why do I need to know those details?
I don't know. Maybe it would have. I mean, you wanted to know whether it was stork or baby making, so I don't know. Just figured you'd want intricate levels of detail.
My parents made love twice. They gave birth to my brother, and they gave birth to me.
Okay. Thank you very much for clearing that up.